Hare Hare. Okay. So we're going to continue from yesterday. This verse, Stala kamalini yuktam garvita kananesmin pranayasi varahasyam pushpagucha chalena api nikilalatasta sora bhakta samunchan mrigayati tava margam Krishna bringo yaradya. So we've been discussing this verse for a few days. And today we're going to move forward to the next verse. You remember the past times we've been discussing how Krishna begged Srimati Radhika to come to the Kunj. He sent Vrinda to bring her and also Subal. Finally Radhika came to the Kunj. Then when she was approaching, then she again hesitated and turned to go back. And then Krishna himself went and prayed again and again, please come to the Kunj. Then again she continued to turn away and leave. So then Krishna stood in front of her and blocked her path, but she went around him. Finally Krishna caught onto her hand and began to pull her gently. And then it said Radhika experienced kila kinchit bhav, which means that she was showing anger in her mouth and she was weeping, but at the same time she was feeling great bliss in her heart. So at that time Radhika entered the Kunj with Krishna and they began to perform their Keli Vilas, their loving pastimes. At that time Rupa Manjari began to watch Radhika meeting with Krishna through the Gavaksha, which means a small crevice that you can see the pastimes going on within. From inside you cannot see out, but from outside there's a small area that you can see in. And Rupa was so happy seeing this that she thought, I need to show my best friend Rati Manjari. So at that time Rupa Manjari went and found Rati Manjari and called her there, and they also both began to witness these pastimes. After the pastimes were complete, the Keli Vilas, then Radhika indicated for the Manjaris to enter inside the Kunj. So at that time Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari both entered the Kunj and began to serve Radha Krishna. At that time no Sakhis were present, only the Manjaris were present. And then Krishna requested the Sakhis to bring paraphernalia to serve Radhika. Bring kumkum, also bring chandan, karpur, camphor, flowers, a comb. So they brought all these items, and then Krishna began to comb Srimati Radhika's hair. And then he combed it, and Krishna made a braid also. At the time of Keshav Vrat that we're following now, during Keshav Vrat, Krishna learns how to do these services to Radhika. He studies under Vishaka, and he learns how to braid Radhika's hair, to comb her hair, to put flowers, to give chandan, kasturi, and all these different items. So at that time, Krishna began to decorate Srimati Radhika. Then after her decoration was finished, at that time also, the Manjaris are fanning, giving drinks. In this verse we learn Tambular, Panapada, Mardana, Payo, Dhana, Bisara, Dibir. Many of these services are performed after Radhika and Krishna meet in the Kunj. So they're giving tambula, they're giving cooling water and drinks, they're massaging their feet. So after that, after Krishna decorated Radhika, then it said, Radhika, ho gaya Madan? Okay, so after that, then Radhika got up and left the Kunj. So it said Radhika left and went because she heard that the Sakhis are outside some distance away. Lalita, Vishaka, and the other Sakhis, they don't come in the Kunj itself, and the Manjaris and Radha and Krishna are there. So Radhika wanted to go and meet with her Sakhis. So it said Radhika left the Kunj, and a short way away they had some assembly of the Sakhis. And so there they began to speak with each other. And Radhika began to tell them some things about their pastimes. But she was still hiding many things. But anyhow, she began to speak and meet with her friends. And it's saying she wanted to please Krishna in some other way. But immediately when Radhika left, then Krishna started to feel viraha, separation. And Krishna stayed for some time there in the Kunj. But Radhika said, I'm just going for a short time, I will come back. You should wait. So Radhika left, and Krishna waited for a little bit of time, but then he became restless. He could not wait any longer. So it said Krishna also left, and he began to search for Radhika. So it said Krishna then, he began searching for Radhika, and he finally found the assembly where Radhika was in the group of Sakhis, speaking with the Sakhis. So at that time, then Radhika inspired the Sakhis to begin to please Krishna by dancing and singing. In this song we sing Jamuna Puline. Then the second verse says Sugita Nardane Sabha Sakhi Gane Tusi Cheyugaladan. That Radha Krishna are sitting in yoga pit. We can meditate on this. That in our mind we meditate. Radha Krishna are sitting on the beautiful 1,000-petaled lotus. And then Lalita, Vishaka and the other Sakhis are also there, and they are singing for Radha and Krishna and dancing. So Sugita Nardane Sabha Sakhi Gane Tusiche Jugaladan. By singing and dancing, they are pleasing Radha and Krishna. So they have many different ways of singing, many songs, many different arts, where they are glorifying Krishna or glorifying Radha, doing different poses and different dance styles. So then at that time, Radhika also began to join the dance. But as she was dancing, she noticed that now my mekhala is missing. Mekhala means she has a gold belt with many bells that she wears around her waist. When we dress Radhika in Shringar, then we'll also give this mekhala. We always give a belt. If you don't give the belt, then Radhika will be disturbed. That's why you have to always remember this in Shringar. And Prabhuji is very sharp. If Prabhuji notices anything is missing in the Shringar, then he'll immediately say, oh, the bangle is not there, or the nose ring is missing, or the belt is missing. Because we see in these pastimes that Gurudev describes, if Radhika is missing one of her ornaments, then everyone starts searching for it. In the pastimes in Radha Kund, after her bath, if she's missing a nose ring or a toe ring, then everything stops. And even in this Leela here, like Srinivasacharya, when he was serving in Nitya Leela at the same time in his internal absorption, and externally he's a sadhaka, a practitioner. But when Radhika was missing her ornament, then all the manjaris were searching for it. So it said also he went there and began to search for it. And then Ramchandra Kaviraj also came, and together they found this and gave it to her. So Radhika, as she was dancing, she noticed, oh, my mekhala is not present. Gurudev said mekhala is what binds Radhika and Krishna with prem. He said the mekhala is, externally it looks like it's made of gold and many golden bells, but really the mekhala is made of only prem, pure love. And so this was missing. So it said Radhika, noticing this, then she glanced at Tulsi Manjari. So Rati Manjari, her name is also Tulsi Manjari. And in Braj, sometimes they just call her Tulsi. Sometimes they call her Rati, sometimes Tulsi. So that time Radhika requested her to bring back her mekhala. So it said this third verse is indicating that part of the pastime. So we can read this verse and memorize it. Brajendra basati stale vivida bhalavi shankule tvameva rati manjari prachurya punya punjodhaya vilasa bhara vishmrita pranay mekala margane yaradya nijanataya brajasi natita kandharam. So Radhika says, oh, where I was meeting with Krishna in the Kunj, I left my mekhala. So you should please, Rati Manjari, go and bring that mekhala. So this verse is actually spoken by Rupa Manjari. We talked about this before a little bit. So Gurudev describes that when Radhika requested Rati to bring her mekhala, then Rati Manjari went to the Kunj and she told the other Sakhis, oh, I have to go and pick some flowers. She didn't directly say what she was doing, because Radhika didn't want everyone to find out that she was missing this. So it said Radhika asked her to bring it, and then Rati said, oh, I have to go and bring some flowers or something else, and I'm just going for a little bit. And it said nobody else noticed, because everyone was dancing and playing with Krishna also. Lalita, Vishaka, everyone was dancing with Krishna. But it said Rupa understood, because Rupa, it said, she watches every movement of Radhika. She never becomes enamored by Krishna or distracted. She's always focused on Srimati Radhika. So she noticed when Radhika stopped dancing for a moment and then indicated with Rati to bring this, she noticed. So Rati then went and brought the mekhala and gave it back to Srimati Radhika. And it said she was so expert that she again tied the belt on Radhika without anyone noticing. Only Rupa noticed. Everyone else was busy dancing and singing, and nobody noticed. So Radhika then said to Rati, "Oh, I'm so happy with you. You protected my honor." She said, "Oh, if Krishna and the Sakhis saw that I was missing my mekhala, then they would have all teased me and joked about me." So she was very happy with Rati, and she said, "Oh, Rati, you have protected my honor." So I said, after this pastime, after the dance was finished and singing, then Rupa was sitting with Rati Manjari. And before, Rati Manjari in the first verse had glorified Rupa in a teasing way, saying that you are so chaste in Braj, and yet, although your husband is out of town since some days, still we see that you have a cut on your lip. So perhaps this was done by Chukapunga Vena, the best of parrots. We learn this verse. Tvam Rupa Manjari Saki Pratita Puresmin. So this was spoken by Rati to Rupa in the first verse. And then the second verse is glorifying Rupa and Radhika, and we heard these pastimes. But now the third verse is said after this pastime occurred, then Rupa was sitting with Rati, and then Rupa spoke this verse to Rati Manjari, glorifying Rati Manjari. Tvam Rati Manjari. Oh, you, Rati Manjari, you are so fortunate that when Radhika was missing her mekhala, she gave you this service. She didn't give this service to anyone else. That Radhika had full trust and faith in Rati Manjari and gave her this service. So this is the explanation of the third verse. Gurudev mentions here that it's very important to pray with the songs of our acharyas or pray with the verses of our acharyas, because if we use their verses, then Krishna will definitely hear these. He said if we pray to Krishna or to Paramatma, Paramatma may hear, but Krishna in Braj is very absorbed in his loving pastimes with the Brijbasis, and he doesn't hear our prayers of jivas if they are not fully surrendered, because they have only material desires and they will only disturb Krishna. Give me this material thing or fix this problem for me. So Krishna is given these responsibilities to hear these ordinary prayers to his incarnations, to the different avatars, to Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, and all the other incarnations. But if you want Krishna directly to hear your prayers, then you have to have full Sharanagati. Saranga Sharanagati hoibe jahar tahara prarthana sune Srinanda Kumar. Krishna himself in Braj hears your prayers if you are fully surrendered. So therefore Gurudev said we pray with these verses of the Goswamis because Krishna will certainly hear their prayers if you sing them. So when we sing these verses of Vilap Kusumanjali, Krishna will definitely hear. Radhika will definitely hear. Because they will be very happy to hear, because these are sung by their own very dear friends and associates. Some of the verses later on in Vilap Kusumanjali, they directly address Krishna also. So in all the different Goswamis' books, we're learning these verses that are very important to learn. And also that's why we sing these songs every day, in the morning time, in the evening time, during Aarti. Our own prayers, it's nice to express your heart from your own prayers as well. But what we are doing is we're taking guidance of our previous acharyas who are themselves eternal associates of Radha Krishna. And in their prayers there's no mixture of different rasas, or there's no material mood there. So when we pray with them, then Radha Krishna are very pleased. Like we pray with this verse, Sham Sundar Shikanda Shekara Smeraha Samurali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanidhi Svapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru. In this verse we pray to Krishna, oh Krishna, please simply make me the maidservant of your beloved Srimati Radhika. When we sing this verse, Yat Kinkari Shubhahusha Kaluka Kuvani, Prabhupada Saraswati Pad's verse, let me become a stick in the broom that sweeps the kunj where Radha and Krishna perform their pastimes. Or this other verse, Yasya Karapi Vasananjala Kelunata Dhanyati Dhanya Pavanena Kritartamani Yogindra Durga Magatir Madhusudana Pitasya Namo Stubrishabhanu Bhuvodhisepi. We sing these verses because they're very sweet, but they're also very focused directly on the mood we aspire to achieve. So Gurudev said when we pray with these moods, we can also pray with our own mood. Meaning it becomes like our prayer as well. Like Gurudev said, when we sing this verse, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute. When we pray with this verse, it's not like we make it our own in the sense that we can pray genuinely to Krishna like this: "Oh Krishna, you are the ocean of mercy, you are the master of the universe, but really you are the beloved of the gopis, and of all your beloveds, Srimati Radhika is the topmost." So when we pray with this, we can pray genuinely from our own heart. And this is very beneficial. When we pray with the verses of Bilwa Mangal Thakur and Krishna Karnamrita, it's very beneficial. Okay, so how much time have we spent? 15 minutes. So we can go for a few more minutes. We'll tell the pastime of Chandan Yatra. So for Chandan Yatra, since many days, all the Brijbasis prepare Chandan. We see in all the temples of Braj, all the devotees are spending days and days pasting Chandan, the sandalwood. And then on this day of Aksaya Tritiya or Chandan Yatra is the first day of Chandan Yatra. It comes on Aksaya Tritiya. Aksaya Tritiya is actually the first day of Satyuga. And Satyuga is the first age. So it's like the first day of creation. And it said, whatever activity you perform on Aksaya Tritiya, that will give you an infallible result or imperishable result. Akshaya means that which is never destroyed. Shai means what is naturally degrading, deteriorating, and disappearing in this world. That matter in this world is always transforming from one state to another. So you cannot have anything permanent in this world that's made of matter. So it's always being destroyed. But Akshay means something that is imperishable, eternal. Krishna says in the Gita, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhava vidyate sata ubayor api drishtavantas tvanayas tatvadarshibhi. You should know, and wise people know, that that which is eternal can never become temporary, and that which is temporary can never become eternal. So Akshaya Tritiya means we follow this day, we try to follow auspicious activities because they will give us an eternal result. And similarly, if we follow and engage in many sinful activities on this day, then it will give a very inauspicious result. But if we follow auspicious activities, it will give 1,000,000 times more benefit than other days. Obviously, days like Ekadashi, Janmashtami, anything you do on those days are very special. But this day is also a very special day, Akshaya Tritiya. We see generally people will start businesses on this day because they want to be materially successful, or they'll start a new venture on this day because it will be successful. But on this day, we perform bhakti to as much as we can throughout the whole day. Doing seva, doing bhakti. And Prabhuji says, then it becomes like it will set the tone for the rest of the year until next Akshaya Tritiya. So whatever you do on Akshaya Tritiya, it's like your whole year will be to some degree dictated by that performance on that day of sadhan. So if you're a badmash, if you're a very rascal, or if you're sleeping so much on that day, then your whole year will be lost in sleep. These things can be adjusted somewhat by strong sadhana, but it's difficult because it's like you're getting in a rut, and to get out of it is quite difficult. It means like a rut in the road. So basically we try to follow very serious sadhana on this day. Doing kirtan, going to arti, hearing Harikatha nicely, chanting Harinam nicely, and then you'll see that will help improve your whole year of sadhan. So that's one thing about Akshaya Tritiya. But on this day of Akshaya Tritiya, we also offer, one thing is that we offer barley and sesame, because it's said that Lakshmi and Narayan, when Brahma first began the first creation, he saw that all the living entities were eating each other. Jiva jivasya bhojanam. One living entity is food for another living entity, and they were all eating each other. So it said that he prayed to Lakshmi and Narayan, please give me some good food for the jivas. So it said Lakshmi herself expanded as jo and sesame, til. Jo means barley and til means sesame. So Lakshmi and Narayan both expanded as barley and sesame, and these were the first grains. And they're very auspicious. There's 7 kinds of sesame also. So you offer these also to Krishna on this day, and it's considered very auspicious, because whatever you get, first you offer to Krishna. Yagya shishtasino shantam uchante sarvakilvise punjate te tvagam papam ye pachantatma karanat. Whatever you take for yourself without offering is only sin. But whatever you get, first you offer to Krishna, this becomes his prasad, and then it will give you mukti. Prasade sarvadukanam hanirasyo pajayate prasanna chetaso yaso buddhir paryavatisade. If you want to be happy and free from suffering and distress, you take Krishna Prasad, and it destroys all kinds of misery, duk. So Lakshmi expanded this, and then you take these offerings, prepare them, and then offer them to Krishna. Also, Surabhi Mata or Kalin appeared as Kamadhenu and gave milk. So that's why you offer milk, yogurt, ghee, butter to Krishna, and it's very pure, and it's described to be like amrita, nectar. So we also offer these products. That's why you see in all the sacrifices, the sages will always perform a sacrifice by offering sweet rice, kheer. And they may offer directly to Thakurji, or they offer to Agnidev, the fire. And then the fire, Agnidev, he is like a medium, so he will take this and offer it to whichever devata you are performing the yajna for. So he'll offer it to, ultimately, Krishna or Vishnu. Because it's also said in Gita that Ham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta chaiva, that I am bhoktaram jagyatapasam. I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Sarva loka maheshwaram. I am the Lord of all the universes, or all the worlds. So that's one side. But the Brajbasis on Chandanyatra, they're worshipping in a more sweet way. But one thing more to discuss is that we see, like some people say, oh, vegetables and grains, they also have life inside them. There's also jiva in them. So taking them is also some kind of sin. And we say, yes, just being a vegetarian is not our goal. We want to be a prasadatarian, meaning whatever we take, we first offer to Krishna, what he likes, and then we take his remnants after serving the devotees. That's prasad. Some people who are just like, oh, I'm going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, but I don't offer to Krishna, then that's also sinful. But still, it's less sinful than eating meat of animals. Because this was an arrangement made by Lakshmi Narayan themselves. They arranged these grains, fruits, and vegetables for us to take. And they told us, you take these. And if you want to, you're always attached to eating animals, then you'll become like an animal in such a body. Prabhupada says, Swami Maharaj, that if you're always eating flesh like a tiger or a lion or a jackal, then you'll become, in your next life, a jackal or a lion or a tiger. And if you're only eating grass, or like you're a vegan, only eating grass or vegetables, then you can become like a cow or a rhinoceros or a gorilla. So if we want to become Krishna Bhakta, a Brajbasi, then we take Krishna Prasad, whatever Srimati Radhika cooks. So Radhika also cooks kheer, halwa, and so many sweets, so many sabjis. So we should follow according to the culture of the Brajbasis, not according to our own mentality. We don't want to be a tiger, we don't want to become a gorilla. So our goal in life isn't just eating grass or fruits and veggies, even though that's better than taking meat. But still, unless we offer it to Krishna and Prasad, it's not freeing us from karma. It's still sin. It's still sinful activity. And Krishna expanded himself as grains for us to eat. So this is on the day of Aksaya Tritiya, that's the Praman. In the first day, they created these things so that we can eat these, and then we can maintain our lives and do bhakti. And they're also very nourishing. It said these are like Mother Earth directly giving food for her children. So you may say, if you drink your mother's breast milk, that's also like her blood. But what is more pleasing to the mother? She also likes to give her breast milk. She feels happiness in that. But if you were to cut her breast and drink her blood, then she's not going to be happy. Or if you were to cut her up and make a steak out of your mother, she's not going to be happy. So therefore, the earth is giving us these things for us to take to maintain our life, and we should take them after offering them to Krishna. Also, Krishna doesn't take these things that are full of violence. That killing animals, it's very violent and it gives them great pain. There's levels of consciousness we talked about, remember? The 5 levels of consciousness. The first is completely covered, achadit. Then you have budding, sankuchit, chaitana. Then you have completely covered and then stunted, vikuchit, chaitana. So vegetables and plants, they're in stunted consciousness, meaning that they may feel a small amount of pain, but not like if you are killing an animal. So therefore, it's considered jiva hingsa, violence towards a jiva, to kill an animal and to eat them. But if you're taking some produce, some vegetable or grass, and offering it, then it's free of all sin and it becomes Mahaprasad. And those jivas also get liberation from the cycle of samsara by being offered to Krishna. So it's also a very auspicious and beneficial activity to offer prasad to Krishna. But Krishna never takes, it said in all the scriptures also, it said God does not accept the burnt offerings of animals in sacrifice. He does not take that. So if you want to please him, you offer prasad and you take that. But our goal is we take Mahaprasad, not that we are vegetarian or we are meat eaters. But also it is said that said Vina Pasugnat, that those who are butchers or killers of animals, very extremely difficult for them to enter into spiritual life and bhakti. It's very difficult for them. If they follow so-called religion, it's all based on material, mundane religiosity for economic development, for sense gratification. There's no real bhakti there. So if you want to follow bhakti, then the first thing is giving up meat eating. Eggs, intoxication, all those things. But the meat eating thing is the most important. So that's one important thing. But then Chandanyatra, then maybe we have a few more minutes. Chandanyatra. Akshaya Tritiya is also the day that Badri Narayan opens. For 6 months in the winter time, Badri Narayan is closed. It's high up in the Himalayas. And it said during that whole time, the Devas are serving him. For 6 months, human beings, they serve Narayan there, Badri Narayan. And then during the winter season, the pass closes in the Himalayan because it's completely snowed over. So during those 6 months, it said the Devas are worshipping him. And when the gates open of Badri Narayan after 6 months and the pujaris go for the first time, they see that there's a ghee lamp freshly lit and fresh flowers and boga also. So this is one praman that the devas are worshipping during that time. So that's one specialty of Akshaya Tritiya. But in Braj, Chandanyatra is in the summer, when the summer starts getting more hot. We see May, June, July, August is very hot in Braj. So when the summer starts getting hot, then they give this chandan to Krishna to cool his body. And we hear these pastimes of Madhavendra Puri, that when Madhavendra Puri found Gopal in the forest, after Gopal was hidden because of the Muslims attacking Braj, the pujaris hid him. And then for a long time he was in the forest, very hungry. No one was feeding him, no one was bathing him. So he inspired Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra brought him, performed Anukut for 40 days, feeding him with so many preparations. But then he told him, oh, now I'm feeling very hot. You've given me nice boga and prasad and abhishek, but still, I want you to go bring chandan. So Madhavendra Puri, even in his old age, he walked all the way to Puri, requested chandan from the Malaya hills, which the king there had, and brought it back with 4 sevaks. And the king gave him pass so that he could pass through all the tax barriers. And as he was coming back, we know the story of Shakshi Gopal, right? Where Shakshi Gopal gave him his kheer. On the way, he gave him his kheer. Kheer Chor Gopinath. That on the way to Puri, he tasted the sweet rice that was offered to Gopinath. And he thought, I want to offer this same sweet rice to my Gopal, right? And then on the way back, then that same Kircho Gopinath came in his dream and said, now you should give the chandan to me. So it said, if Krishna makes a relationship with you once in any form, then he will not leave you. So he was before serving Gopal, but then Gopinath wanted his service. Gopal is like Yashoda's Gopal, but Gopinath is the beloved of the gopis. When we sing the Gopal mantra, then the last name of Krishna is this Gopinath, Gopijana Vallabha, or Gopinath. So he wanted to take Madhavendra's service because Madhavendra Puri is in Madhurya Ras. So he wanted to take this service from the gopis of giving chandan on his body. So actually chandan is one form of the gopis themselves. This is another pastime. Did Prabhuji tell this one this morning? This is another example. So we'll just quickly cover it. So Madhavendra Puri gave this chandan on. There's too many stories to tell. We can keep going until Kirtan starts, huh? We'll quickly stop, 5 minutes. Maybe we just stop and tell more tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
Jamuna, stop now.
Today I started.
What?
So,
Bhajan. What time is it? We can stop here and tell more tomorrow, huh?